This is WZOB Fort Payne, 100.9 FM and 1250 AM.
Hey guys, it's Thursday. It's 11 o'clock. You know what that means. It's time for Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We're on episode 24. You're listening to WZOB 1250 AM, 100.9 FM. You can also catch us on online. If you go to WZOBradio.com and click the Listen Live button, you can check us out there. We're also on Facebook. Hey, Facebook World. Checking us out live. That's where we get a lot of our views and watching the show as well as listening. So excited to have you guys there. We're live on Facebook right now. Miss Holly Allen, who is the producer of the show, archives the show also on our YouTube channel. So if you go to all of those places, you can find out about Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Check us out. We're on episode 24. As I mentioned, got a lot to do today. Our guest today at the bottom of the hour will be Pete Davis, mayoral candidate, which the election is coming up pretty quick. So he'll be in studio with us here shortly. Excited to have him on and to discuss all things City of Fort Payne, political, bus driving, Westmoreland Tire, all these kinds of things. So excited. So let me go ahead and bring in Steve Chambers, my co-host. Steve, welcome in. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. Excited about an episode 24 with Pete Davis. He's going to have a lot of fun with us today.
Yeah.
Pete will cut up with you, won't he?
Yes, he will.
He will.
I hear he's bringing food too.
Yes, and he is bringing us a little lunch. And
Thank you, Pam.
Is Pam coming with him?
She should.
Okay, hopefully. We'll
But
see.
probably won't.
Bringing in Holly Allen. Holly, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful today.
Good.
All my stuff was set up when I walked in the door.
Yes, my class did a great
Did
job.
they?
My
And
second
they didn't
block.
break anything?
No,
I mean,
did
wow.
not.
Okay, because
So
that's my
we-
worst fear.
We have been doing some work in here,
Yeah.
trying to do some different editing things. So, of course, this is an easy real life example of, hey, here's what you could do in this kind of line of work. And so, we've taken some cameras. We've got a set. So we're on one side of the studio. It's a pretty big classroom studio, and then over here to my right is the FPTV, the traditional FPTV studio that most of people have seen online. And so yesterday we shot some kids. That didn't sound right.
What caliber did you use?
We did some video with some kids and trying to figure out what do you like to do? Do you like to set the studio up? Do you like to run the equipment to record video and audio, or do you want to be on the screen and see things? So got to see all of that happen, and then today we did another version of that, and they helped me set up the studio as well here for us. So everything we do is put over here into this corner so it doesn't get messed with. What
Will you be doing the announcements in the morning on FPTV?
You know,
like
I would
back
love
in
to
the
go.
day?
Yeah, I would love to go back to doing some of that. I need to find out. There's so many different questions. This job has been literally like drinking. Well, not literally, but it has been like drinking from a fire hydrant. I've
imagine.
never been.
It's just your
So
second
stressed
week,
out.
isn't it?
So stressed
No,
out.
you know, honestly, I'm not stressed. It's not. It's overwhelming. It's a
Yeah.
lot. But I love it.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those, when we have these moments here, and of course you're under more pressure than we are because you're firing the buttons and trying to get everything live and working. And when you're on that side, it can feel stressful. But I've done it enough and been in certain contexts so many different times of this isn't right. Worship sets when the lyrics aren't on. You thought. Oh, I thought I brought him the thumb drive with all the lyrics for today's set list, but I didn't bring it. So now what do we do? Like that has happened 1,000 times in my career.
Yeah.
So I'm used to it. There's still a lot of things that aren't done, but we like each day. So I've compared it to this. I told David Smith this earlier. It's like at those baseball games where they have a person in the crowd, a fan, get out there and they'll like start at center field. And then they have this really fast guy in a jumpsuit with, he's all decked out and you can't see his face. You can't tell who it is. And they race to right field. And so this guy's really fast and the other guy's really slow. I feel like we're the fast guy and we're catching up to game day, but I don't know that we're going to catch it before we get here tomorrow night.
Yeah.
That's the question.
Ready or
We're
not.
gaining on it
Yeah.
and we are getting there. But it still feels like we've got a lot of things to do.
Well, it's a preseason game for us too. So.
Yeah.
And this week has always been for FPTV and WZOB kind of a practice. Let's
Right.
make sure all our buttons are working, all our feeds are working, and all that.
No
So
injuries.
no
Yeah.
injury.
Yeah,
If we can come away tomorrow night with injury free, then we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, we usually don't promote the Jamboree just because. I mean, if you tune in and you hear us, okay. But
If we get your commercial up, good for you, but
Yeah.
we're not guaranteeing that.
Yeah,
So
right.
anyway, it has been. So I've been up and back and forth, a lot from here to the stadium, checking out the scoreboard, looking at the feeds, checking and double checking that we can get. So there's so many different things. It's more complicated than this setup that Holly has right here that you can't see.
oh, I imagine.
But
Yeah, way.
it's just so many different feeds, and how do you get audio and video, and how do you get it over to here, and then you want to get your graphics for your sponsors up, and then trying to do. So the goal is for me to be on the air with you guys, and that we're going to do that tomorrow night. But there may be after the halftime, I'll have to go make sure everything else is working. What went wrong? What do we need to fix? But we feel like we've got a good plan. So
So we're just during the first half.
yeah, we're going to be. I think that's kind of the norm.
Yeah,
has been-
Jamboree's just first half.
We might go into the second half just to practice some
Well, there's-
switching.
I think some of the starters were playing to the third quarter.
Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But of course, it's just as important for the ninth grade and the JVs.
Oh, I
I'm
know.
saying
Yeah.
that.
Well, and I want to watch.
That's the
You know, my
future.
son's on the JV, and so I'd like to be able to sit down and watch a little bit of him playing tomorrow night
Without
too.
a
So-
microphone in
without a
front of you.
microphone, or somebody going, "Hey, how does this work over here?" So,
Right.
and it's plaid blue shirt Thursday for anybody who didn't know. So if you're not wearing plaid blue shirts, then
Yeah. You sent out a
then you-
text. What are you wearing?
then you're. We did. Believe it or
Yeah,
not,
we do that all the time.
believe it or not, we did not text what we're wearing today. So we just happened to be plaid blue shirts. So, which this isn't really plaid, is it?
It's
This
it's
is more
like
of a-
robin egg blue or something.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it's robin egg blue.
It's not
It's like
houndstooth,
Easter
is
blue.
It is not.
Just making sure.
I can guarantee it's not houndstooth. Hey, we've got segment sponsors after this segment. Is it all? Yeah, we've got all seven
Everyone.
segments. So thank you guys for our sponsors. You're going to see the graphics when we go to commercial break here in a minute. The graphics of those who are advertising just the radio, and then they'll have a graphic up here. And then we've got segment sponsors that'll be up here. Starting next segment with our Thrive Outdoor Garden Tip of the Week. We'll talk to Chris Durr. I've already checked in with him. He's ready to go, so we're good with that. So, hey, guys, we are, 2 weeks away? Less than 2 weeks away from the election. It's a week from Tuesday. Is that right?
And do you know who you're voting for?
Do I?
Yeah.
Well, it's on the 26th, and today's the 14th, so I guess we got 12 days.
You know, if you and I are not informed voters, then we're just a bunch of
Nobody's informed.
idiots. You know, if we don't know who we're going to vote for, I've got it whittled down.
You do?
Do you know your 5? I mean, you don't just have to say it on the air.
4 is easy for me, and then there's another group of 4 to me to get that 5th one.
Yeah,
And
So you still got a chance with Steve.
that's right. You can still sell. Steve, do you have a mayor preference right now?
yes,
Okay. I'm really pretty open on about all of them right now. I haven't made a definitive commitment in my head. I do know of about 2 council candidates that I'm pretty sure on, and I'm probably closer to what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure on 4.
you know the thing is, I was thinking about this the other day. You know, you got 15 council prospects to
Yeah.
run, and 5 of them will be out. And in another year, those 5 that didn't make it would in other years they might be shoe-ins because it's such
Yeah.
a strong group of candidates. And
Yeah, any one of there's legit 10 that are good, solid candidates for this. So
yeah, I see that. Well, Fort Payne's blessed to have these many
I agree
good
with-
people
I agree
running.
with that.
And it takes courage.
we could take those other 5 and put them on the boards that everybody's been talking
Hey, that's
about.
a good idea. Well, actually,
Next
who
5
does
serves
that?
on the boards, huh?
Who does that? Is that the
The
city
city council
council?
does,
Okay,
yeah.
so the city council could choose
Oh,
from.
I've learned that one over the last
that's
10
not
weeks.
a bad idea.
Yeah, well, okay.
And then give them some experience working
Yeah,
in
yeah.
some capacity for the city, and then maybe that's actually a really good
I read
idea.
it is reasonable to think it is. If you're voting for your best friend because they're your best friend, that's probably not a wise way to do things. But because
what's
you are
best for the city.
you're hiring somebody, and do you think this person can do a good job,
Right.
or do you think the other person can do a good
Yeah.
job? And that's really kind of the bottom line of what we're trying to do. And we want to be fair because it's gotten a little bit ugly in places. Not as ugly as the one they were talking about. What you talking about, Jordan and Stout?
Yeah.
That
Mark was counting the.
Oh yeah.
You gonna tell the story?
Not the right end votes, but the.
Somebody's coming in.
You're not voting for me. Anyway,
It's a good thing the doors are locked.
Mark could not count a couple here in town that's well known because their primary residence is outside the city limit.
Oh no!
And that oh boy, they were gonna ruin his life. But apparently, he persevered because he's pretty successful running Sand Mountain Electric Co-op and retiring.
Well, we have been kind of keeping everything close to the vest for us, and for obvious reasons. I mean, I wouldn't want to talk about who I'm voting for mayor, Pete or Bryan, with Pete coming in today. I want it to be very fair. I want everybody to know that I'm not. There's no axe to grind here.
It's just two good candidates.
And they really are.
Yeah.
It's two good candidates.
Two good people.
We're to be honest with you, whoever gets it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to have a bad mayor no matter who wins. So I'm excited about that. I do think the city council, I think we've got enough reasonable citizenry here to get us 5 good council members and everybody that's on the ballot. I mean, just good luck to you, and we're hopeful that you guys will do the best you can and serve the city well. And
hopefully it's a good turnout. Surely, surely to goodness.
Yeah, at least we could do that. So excited about all those things. We've got some other things coming up. We've got Steve's rain gauge. Do you have a rant for today?
No, I don't want everybody to think I'm mad every week.
Oh, that's like my favorite segment.
It is
I
funny.
go home telling Jamie about it. Like, y'all heard Steve's rant today.
So we've got all those things.
I've got one that I've got in my back pocket. But,
yeah, we've got some quotes. We've got some other items of note. Sydney Sweeney. You want to talk Sydney Sweeney? I don't even know what's going on, so y'all gonna have to.
It's ridiculous.
American Eagle jeans.
I have no idea.
I mean either.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to talk about it right now, or are you going to pull it up?
I don't have it.
You don't have it?
I don't have the graph. I mean, I'm gonna.
Oh,
I don't even.
okay.
I've heard her name, and Babylon B has made a couple of
It's a play
comments.
on words, and apparently some people got so much. She's got great genes.
And the libs want to say it's GENE instead of
It might have been.
But the
It might
commercial
have-
was JEANS.
Yeah, because she's pulling up her jeans.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very objectifying. I mean, it's
very tastefully done.
Tastefully done.
Yeah, tastefully
I
done.
would not buy those jeans. Anyway, I don't. It is. It's the whole sex sales kind of thing, which I don't particularly care for. But the fact that people got all up in arms because she's white.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's
And
a
now,
Nazi
and now that's an
that's
issue.
her go-to. She's a
Yeah,
Nazi.
of course.
Because she's got great genes, and obviously she's a white supremacist
Oh,
or something,
my
or
goodness.
American Eagle is white supremacist. Or
Yeah. Well,
but there was a lot of funny memes going around. I sent you a couple.
I know it. I should have put them on there, but I've been so busy in the
Like-
scoreboard room.
John Calvin.
Who was it? Like John Calvin, who's got great genes. I don't know.
There used to be Calvin jeans, didn't there?
Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I'm a slave to fashion.
Yeah, and
obviously.
then Doug Wilson, who's a big reformed guy. He's well known in the reform world, and he's a big, like, heavy guy, and he's
got great genes.
He's
Okay.
got great genes.
Well, Miss Sweeney's a registered Republican, so Donald Trump supports her. now.
Oh, there you go.
That's
And
it.
that's where it got
That's
started.
That's it
She's
right there.
not-
That's
yep.
all
She's
you
on
gotta
the
do.
wrong train.
So
That's
anyway,
it.
well, we're going to take our first commercial break. We'll come back with Chris Dura with the Thrive Outdoor Garden tip of the week. Thank you guys for listening or watching to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back.
Y'all ready for some great country music tonight?
Saturday night, August the 16th at the Pick and Post in Fort Payne, Alabama. It's the legendary David Wills.
'Cause there's a song on the jukebox I want to hear 1,000 times. Hey, I've done it all, but I'll tell you, horse, don't do anything I wouldn't do. No anchors, just sail.
David Wills, Saturday night, August the 16th at the Pick and Post, located at 893 Old Highway 35 East in Fort Payne, Alabama. with opening acts, the Foggy Hollow Review and Cody Eubanks and the Quitting Time Band. Doors open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Get your tickets at davidwillsmusic.com. A Georgia Legends concert.
These guys they are awesome. That's all I can say. Wow.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
This is Judge Andrew Hairston, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB.
When you need to give something special, visit Tracy's in North Fort Payne. Beautiful floral arrangements, fresh or silk, stylish jewelry, scented candles and pampering products, cuddly stuffed animals, balloons, and candy. Tracy can help you put together the perfect gift and gourmet basket. Potted plants or hanging baskets with fresh spring flowers. At Tracy's, you're sure to find that unique gift that shows just how much you care. Tracy's is located at 2103 Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 and Saturdays from 9 to noon. For every occasion, visit Tracy's full-service florist, personalized printing, and gifts.
All right, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve, episode 24. We're live in studio at FPTV. WZOB 100.9 FM, 1250 AM. Steve Chambers, Brian Northcutt, Holly Allen down here in the dungeon underneath third building. The old band room. How about that, Holly? You back in the old dad's stomping ground.
I feel very at home. I had to go sniff his old office just to see if it smelled the same. It doesn't.
So excited to have online. We've got our first segment sponsor this segment, Thrive Outdoors, the garden tip of the week. We've got Chris Dura from Thrive on the hotline right now. Chris, how are you doing, brother?
I am doing all right. How is everybody today?
We are well. We got up and running. Only a little bit of a spin on the Facebook feed to get everything live and going. So we have had smooth sailing this day, which is stupid for me to say right then, because that means we'll go off the air here shortly. But so far, so good.
Well, that's awesome. I tell you what, when I go to do this, I kind of watch you guys the first 15 minutes to see if there's anything I should talk about with you. There's a couple of things. I think with the Steve part, it should be What's Eating Steve today.
Oh, that's true.
That's good.
I like
What's
that.
Eating Steve, and he should definitely be talking about the Minnesota Vikings male cheerleaders. Oh my word.
Ooh, I saw that.
That was on Gutfeld last night.
Yeah,
I don't know if you watched that or
ooh.
not.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't see that, but I've seen the story.
What I mean, is it anything more than just?
It's not regular.
It's not like college cheerleaders,
Oh,
Brian.
okay.
It is. They're
got you.
dancing around. They're dancing around like the ladies.
Yeah,
So would that be the flamboyant?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They got certain little
Not the
prance to them, don't they?
They got a little prance.
Okay. And how many, it's a whole squad of them, or is it just?
No, it's just two, I believe.
Okay.
Just two of them. And the other thing is,
That's why I'm a
looking
Green
at
Bay
you guys-
Packer fan.
Looking at you guys on Facebook, what's going on with the half-dressed man above Brian's head on the wall?
I was hoping Holly would bring that up. You don't know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
That is that portrait is George Costanza from a Seinfeld episode, and the name of that portrait is The Timeless Art of Seduction. And so it's an episode of Seinfeld, and my brother and I have kind of go back and forth with Seinfeld over the years, and so he bought me that for my birthday last year, or maybe 2 years ago, and sent it to me.
I'm glad you explained that. Otherwise, it looks like you have a picture of a half-dressed man on your wall.
I said, are you sure you want to do
Claire
that,
won't let me
Brian?
hang it at the house, so I thought, well, this is my radio show. I'll just put it up here.
At first glance, looks like he's in a diaper, doesn't it?
Yes, I had to snapshot my phone and then blow it up to see what is going on.
Yep, that's
above Brian's
George
head.
Costanza. And so I figured, well, can't put it at the house. I'll just put it at the studio and blast it out to everybody.
Seriously, you had that at
Awesome.
your house.
I've
I
got
thought
my
that was.
garden tip. Then after that, I've got a question about football. So let me get into my tip.
All right, let's go. Garden tip of the
quick
week.
for you, and Then we'll talk a little pigskin.
There we go.
I know everybody's heard of lime. Like everybody says, I got to throw some lime down in my yard. Do you guys know what lime's for?
Covering dead people.
Is this the LYME or LIME?
LIME.
LYME is the disease, isn't it?
I thought.
It's the disease.
I thought, or I know, maybe that's lye.
Is that a?
You put on.
Yeah, there is
dead
lye.
people. Lye.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
No, I don't. I have heard.
You
Chris,
put it in
but
your
it's
Corona.
just left me. I don't know.
We've gone off track, Chris. Get us back on there.
Well, let me tell you what it's for. Now, normally in the South, you've got clay soil. Everybody's familiar with clay soil, which is typically high in acidity, which plants don't really care for, or lawns anyway. So that lime raises the pH, which you have to think about it opposite. It raises the pH, which lowers the acidity. So if you're around pine trees or you got clay soil, you want to add some lime to it. But first, before you go on nuts, make sure you get a soil sample. Get a little scrap of soil. You can get a box from Auburn, or I think your co-op here in DeKalb County may have it. Send it to Auburn. They'll tell you exactly how much and what you need to put in your soil.
Oh wow, that's it. That's pretty cool. Nice service there.
How long does that take?
What do you say? How long does it take to turn around?
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually a couple of weeks. They can turn around those samples and send you something to mail.
Yeah, I would.
This is the time of the year to be doing this. We don't want a reason to bring that up. If you're going to be liming, September, October through November is a good time to lime.
That would be a good idea. I would probably have to care a little bit more to want to do that. I mean, that is a great garden tip of the week, and I'm sure that there's several, if not hundreds, of people in our audience that would grasp a hold of that. But I see dry spots if there's no grass. I'm like, oh, okay, that's less to cut.
Well, also around here, if you're living on either one of the mountains, you could be dealing with some rocks right underneath the soil. And we call those hot spots where it's not going to, the water evaporates so fast, the grass can't really take it in.
Yeah, it is a rocky place up there.
Yeah, like you dig in a pool and at 3 feet, you get the rock.
Did that happen to you?
Yes, it did.
Oh my gosh, they have to blow it up.
Oh my goodness.
No, they said they dynamite it. I don't think this is a good idea for the foundation of the house.
Right.
And now my question, now to get to my football question.
Yeah.
High school football, looking at Fort Payne, you two, and Miss Holly, pigskin prognostications. What are your feelings on the Fort Payne Wildcats season prediction? What will we have for losses or wins?
Well, I haven't gone game by game. Steve, you've seen more. He's made more observations and kind of taken some notes. I think I told Chris this, our Coach Elmore. I think Fort Payne putting their best 11 on the field is going to be extremely competitive. I'm not sure about last year and comparing to last year, but they're going to be very competitive in every game with their top 11. Now, on either side. But once you get past that and the two deep, it's going to be, they're going to have play both ways on some guys.
So we don't need any injuries.
Yeah, we got to be minimal on injuries, which we were for the most part last year, other than Blake towards the end of the year. And Blake Griggs has got to get down. He can't be bulldozing up in there Tim Tebow style.
Is he wanting to run a lot?
Yeah, and he's a competitor, and same with Carter Blaylock and Mason Chandler and those guys that are just, they don't care to tuck their head and dive into a pile. You just got to be careful because the backups are real thin. So what do you think, Steve?
Well, I've seen 3 scrimmages.
Yeah.
The 2 in the daytime, the offense was eating up the defense. And then the one under the lights, the defense shut out the offense.
Yeah.
So that's a good. Of course, you want the defense to be ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
But they are going to be competitive. You know, Gadsden's, it makes, again, come down to Fort Payne and Gadsden City for the region.
I don't know what Southside's got coming back. I know they've hired back the coach that they had two years ago, I think.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I'm glad we don't have Coosa Christian since they have Rush Probst now.
Yeah, Coosa Christian hired Rush Probst. I saw that in the news. Wow. Unbelievable.
Well, I looked at an online site before I came here to see, they had a prediction. They got Fort Payne with 2 losses, Guntersville and Gadsden City.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I don't know what Guntersville's got. They were good last year.
Watch the G's. Glad we don't play Green Bay then.
The only thing I can think about Guntersville is that's our first broadcast away game. And, oh my gosh. So I've just been dealing with home stuff right now. So get to practice that tomorrow, which has laid out really well for how my job started, which is We've got a home jamboree, so I can practice everything for the jamboree. The next week is exactly the same setup, so we're going to leave a lot of the things still set up. And then we're going on the road the next week. The only more ideal would be if we had 2 home games in a row that I could really set up and feel good about it and then go on the road. But this is as good as it can get for me.
That team we're playing tomorrow night.
Yes.
We won't see many teams better than
They're very good.
Central of Clay County. I'm used to calling them Clay County, but it's Central of Clay County.
Yep.
The Volunteers.
Chris, you got any thoughts?
Scarlet, blue and
the
white.
only thing I know the Central, that used to be Clay County and Lineville, and those two merged, correct, into Central and Clay?
Yeah, that's correct.
Those are always perennial, playing for the either area championship or state championship, just about for that area or that.
Well, they were good separate. They were good 3 and 2A
That was a
schools.
huge rivalry. My brother.
I did find out I have a family friend that actually coached Central of Clay, Chris Herron, and he actually does their radio broadcast. So maybe he'll come up and I can meet an old Alabaster boy.
Yeah. Well, the head coach, Danny Horn, his nephew played for me at Opelika years ago.
Wow.
So I knew of Danny Horn. His sister was the mom of 2 players at Opelika when I was there, and so I knew the Motley family. If you're from Opelika, if anybody watching in Opelika, the Motley family, Dinah Motley.
They make great applesauce.
Now, tell me what your thoughts are. Holly gave me a schedule of some of the area, because I know when we do our DeKalb, our DC tailgate show, we talk about all the county teams, and I was kind of looking over, see if they had any kind of, good matchups or tough matchups. I'm looking at Fife. Their first game is at Maplesville.
Now, Maplesville has been traditionally pretty good. I don't know what they're like now.
They're playing that game in Montgomery.
That's right.
Yes.
They're in that, what do they call it, Capital City Classic or something?
I think so.
Yeah. Those are always good games.
I know Maplesville has been good these past few years. Are they good this year?
I don't have any idea. I don't think they've been as competitive as they were back in the mid to late 90s when they were on their run, but I will see. Evidently, they're good enough to get invited to Montgomery to play.
I've been told Geraldine is loaded.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Geraldine. Monk and Sammy were on the show last week and talked about them, and Fife, of course, is Fife.
I know it doesn't mean much, but you may want to pay attention to see Geraldine opens in a jamboree tomorrow night against Gunnersville.
Do they really? Wow.
Yes.
That could be interesting.
Wow.
Yes.
So we'll follow that score and see what we got. I think Plainview's probably going to be better. I'll be interested to see how this lawsuit that Jeremy Pruitt's in, what goes on. Like, if is he going to have to be away to be in court? I mean, he's coaching, right? Isn't he
is.
And so how will
he's coaching.
They want it to be in DeKalb County. The NCAA has filed a petition for it not to be in DeKalb County.
Okay.
Because we're not good enough to cover that. It's basically what I got out of the article.
That's what Steve thinks. Well, Chris, we're incredibly excited. Another football season. This will be our 4th together, right? Is that right?
That's correct.
And
yeah, I believe so.
So we'll Steve and Mark will be in there. We're going to have Mark mic'd up, right? So
yes, Mark will
live
have headset
stats
and everything. He'll be able to chime in whenever he wants.
So when Bryan asks him a question, he can answer it. Yeah.
That's right. He doesn't have to pick up that anyway.
Oh, just pray for our staff. I've been recruiting students to help with FPTV. Fortunately, Mr. Black left some good kids here. It's so funny to go walking up there, and I'm going, okay, so how do you do this? Can you show me how to do this? But I've learned the system, and Steve has been gracious to FaceTime with me and show me some stuff and give me advice. But it has been a lot of work at this new job. But I'm excited about it, enjoying it. So anyway,
Tomorrow night, here we go. So be tuning in to WZOB.
That's right.
Have we determined it's at 6 o'clock?
No, it's at 7.
It is at 7.
It is at 7. Yep.
See, I told you it was up in the air.
Yeah, well, he had talked about moving it up, but Clay County, Central Clay, had asked to keep it at 7 so that they have time to get here and all that. So it's going to stay at 7.
7 o'clock. That's good to know.
So we're good. 7 o'clock Friday night.
All right. We'll go live at 6:45.
6:30. I don't know.
Do you
we'll
want to go
figure that
live
out.
30 minutes?
Are we going to do a production meeting right here on the air?
I'm sorry.
All right, we'll check things out, Chris. One way or another, we'll get in touch with you, and we'll be on the air tomorrow night sometime. So thanks for joining us. Thank Lee and everybody at Thrive Outdoor for sponsoring the show, and appreciate you, brother.
Get your lime.
Sure will.
And go get your lime.
Thank you.
All right, see you, Chris. That was Chris Durr with Thrive Outdoor, the garden tip of the week. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll have Pete Davis in studio here in just a second. You're listening or watching to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back.
DeKalb Fix-It Appliance Warehouse is a mouthful, so Terry and Bobby have decided to drop the fix-it and focus on giving you the best prices on new appliances. Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, Amana, LG, Samsung, GE, and more. Up to 75% off retail priced on new, scratched and dent appliances. And as your Electrolux and Frigidaire dealer, DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is passing on more savings to you with even more new in-box selections. Need a refrigerator? Come in today and shop our overstocked warehouse. You will not get a better deal anywhere. We guarantee to match or beat any price. In-house service available to all as well. Used appliances will now be available at our previous location on Godfrey Avenue, along with the same computer sales and repairs our customers have come to enjoy. DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is open weekdays 9 to 5, Wednesdays and Saturdays 9 to 2, located on Airport Road in Fort Payne.
Hi, this is Brian Jett, Superintendent for Fort Payne City Schools, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
All right, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Am I not up?
No, you're up.
Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We're live in studio FPTV down in the dungeon. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Brian Northcutt, Steve Chambers, Holly Allen, and we are joined now with none other than Pete Davis. Let me tell you a little bit about Pete. Pete is married to the former Pam White of Fort Payne. Pete's originally from Virginia, born and raised there. Pam's family is JT and Sybil White. He's got two sons, Tripp, who's married to Allison, and Will, who is married to Khaki. He's got 4 grandchildren, and he has got something checked off of his bucket list, and that is being on Lunch with Bryan and Steve. So, Pete, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
That's way down the list.
It was way down the list. That's right. But hey, I got it checked off.
There
now,
you go. So you're here. You're here, right. And it's only, 11 days?
It's getting close.
Or 12 days till election?
I'm excited.
I have got a funny story. I wanted to set this up. First off, here's a really cool, interesting fact. So Pete's son, did both kids go to Auburn? Both?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So both Tripp and Will went to Auburn, and Will met a young lady, Khaki, his wife, who's from Atlanta. And my wife's brother, Claire's brother, Jack, met a girl from Atlanta at Auburn. Pete's son, Will, married Khaki. My brother-in-law, Jack, married Marjorie. And Khaki and Marjorie are sisters.
That's exactly right.
So
I need a chart for that. I didn't quite catch all that.
Almost.
That's really confusing to say it that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to describe that because there's no quick like brother-in-law, sister-in-law way to say that.
How are they connected then?
So Pete's
My son, my youngest son, married Claire's. My youngest son, his wife is Claire's brother's.
It's not easy.
His
son
brother-in-law
and my brother-in-law are brother-in-laws.
That's right.
There we go.
Okay, 6 degrees of
They
separation,
married sisters.
right? Okay,
Yeah, they married
okay.
They married sisters.
Yeah.
So
it's a small world.
Oh, goodness.
You know.
I'm sorry about that,
so there's occasionally when all the planets line up right, where Claire's brother and sister-in-law are here, and Will and Khaki are at Pete's house, which we live really close to each other, and they'll
Jack
be able to see each
Marjorie
other.
will be at your house,
Yep.
and so
And
they'll
so-
come to my house or whatever the case may be. And we just one big happy family. Yeah.
So interesting, and we found that out because we did drive buses together.
That's right, and you run off and left us. And we miss you.
Yeah,
we really do.
I hear it is nuts with that new school and having all the routes. And
it has been a lot of radio chatter, I guess you could say.
That new school is God's blessing.
Yeah,
it's a good thing. That's for sure.
5A.
I'm glad that happened. Yeah, I knew that was coming. There had to be a reference to football there.
Always, yeah. Steve, it's going to come back to football. 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. There's 7 degrees of football with Steve.
That's right.
What'd you coach? So we always ask this question right out of the gates. What's wrong with you? Like, what in the world made you decide to bite off this nugget of the mayor's race?
Yeah, I actually started out, I was going to run for council.
And
I got out and got to talking to people about running for council and, asking about if they would support me for it. And everybody said, it'd be great, you need to do that. But during those conversations, it seemed like the mayor always came up in conversation.
Yeah.
And everybody told me real good things about him. They loved him, what a nice guy he was and everything else. And then there was always a but at the end of the conversation. And nobody said anything bad about him. But they basically just told me that they thought with my business background and what have you, that I would probably do a great job as mayor.
Okay.
So I went home one day and told Pam, I said, I've decided not to run for city council. And she said,
"Did you leave it? Did you pause first?"
I paused. And she said,
"You did a cheerleader jump."
What? And I said, "I'm going to run for mayor." And of course, her first response was, "Have you lost your mind?"
You've already answered this before.
Yeah. That question's been answered several times because even campaigning people ask me, they're like, "Why are you doing this?" You know? But Fort Payne, it needs some leadership. We just need. And I think the mayor's office has lost respect, I guess I could say.
Okay.
In years past, I felt like the mayor was respected and, by the council, by the employees of the city. And now I just don't feel like there's any unity there, like amongst the mayor and the council and even the employees. I mean, if you go to city council meetings, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of unity there, so.
Yeah. Hey, Holly, I forgot. I'm sorry. I got to do a segment sponsor. You got to wave me down when I do that.
That's okay. I'm not perfect
sorry.
either,
Hey,
Brian.
Steve Eberhard, I'm really sorry. First Fidelity Bank, I'm sorry, Pete. We'll get back to you in a second. But these are sponsors of the show.
He knows Steve well, I'm sure.
Everybody who knows me knows that this is exactly how I operate. So DeKalb County and surrounding communities since First Fidelity Bank has been serving DeKalb County and surrounding communities since 1965. Which is when Steve opened up a bank account there with offices in Fort Payne,
Rainsville. They're so successful.
That's exactly right. Offices in Fort Payne, Rainsville, and Ida. First Fidelity Bank can help you with all your banking needs, including online banking and bill pay, mobile banking and mobile capture, and more. Locally owned and operated, First Fidelity Bank offers family-style service, and they really do that. But don't video your segments out in front of them, or they'll come out and make sure that you're doing it correctly.
Yes,
so we appreciate everybody down there. Steve Eberhard, we really thank you guys for sponsoring the show. They are the segment sponsor for this segment, so we want to thank them. And that is my fault for forgetting it. I've got to start doing that better job of that, and I've remembered it now. So anyway, now
back to
getting back to Pete Davis. So Pete, tell us just a little bit, maybe a couple of items of your platform, because we'll dive into some. Let's stay with what we were talking about first before we do that. So you talked about some of the leadership and maybe some lacking leadership by those in office now. And so what are some ways that you see that manifested in our community?
Well, I kind of just feel like Fort Payne's kind of stuck in the 1980s maybe or something. It's kind of like we're not progressing much. And, I moved here in 1988. And I grew up in small towns similar to Fort Payne. I think it was about 18,000 people there, and just about an hour due north of Raleigh, North Carolina, just across the Virginia line.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Pam, like I said, she's a native of Fort Payne. So we came here in 88, and Tripp was a year old, and Will was born a year or so later. But, I just don't see where Fort Payne looks a lot different than it did
Okay.
when I moved here.
Okay.
I mean, if you ride, and of course, driving a school bus, I go on several roads that other people don't go on, and I see a lot of things that other people don't see as far as the city streets go. I mean, we need to clean Fort Payne up. That's like my second thing on my list, or it's right at the top, I guess, but, I think that just small things like street signs and stop signs and lines across the road where a stop sign is. I mean, cleaning the grass and the debris out of the gutters, the curbing, or whatever. I mean, there's just so many small things you could do that Fort Payne would look just 100% better.
Yeah.
I mean, it would just be amazing, I think, just in a short period of time, what we could make Fort Payne look like.
Okay.
And that way, if people come just drive through Fort Payne, I mean, they might look around and say, wow, this is a neat little town, it's a pretty town, it's clean, that's the kind of things I like, and I think I'd like to bring to the table.
Okay.
And of course, my other thing is the fiscal responsibility,
Yeah.
because Fort Payne is in sad shape basically right now.
What do you think? How do you see that being addressed in a Davis administration?
Well, we got to quit spending money on things that cost a lot, and I guess somebody has a vision for them. That's the word I've heard used quite a bit with current elected officials, that they like the gas house building, for example. They have a vision for
Which
that,
is downtown.
Yep. and in the meeting they had the other night, Mr. Farmer was there. He didn't have a whole lot of good news, and if you listen to it, because they bought a building, paid $750,000 for it, didn't really have a plan for it, but they had a vision, and they didn't have any money though. There's no money to make this vision be real.
Is that the meeting that happened for, what was that called? I forgot.
It was night before last, I guess.
Yeah.
It was like called the Second Street Quarter.
Yes.
Yeah. But the guy that was there, I mean, he basically said that the building's unsafe, and there's a 3-step process that they'll have to go through if they hired his company, and it would be, first of all, to inspect the building and remediate any a dangerous material, a hazardous material out of it.
Yeah.
And that would take a process, and then the next thing would be you'd get the EPA and ADM in there to do soil samples to see what kind of stuff's in the ground there. And then the third process, I guess, would be deciding whether you're going to tear the building down and start all over, or if there's something there to work with.
And nobody has said what that vision was for what it was going to be or what they thought it might be?
No, not really. I mean, I've not heard anybody really say. Now, there's a lady here in town that has a lot to do with downtown Fort Payne. She owns a couple of buildings in Fort Payne, and has made them look wonderful and got occupants in them right now and what have you. And she actually had some renderings that she showed some buildings downtown, and I got to see those. And I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, what she had drawn up there, it showed retail stores down in those buildings or restaurants in those buildings. And of course you'd have to walk to them, because there's no parking down there or whatever. And then she also had the building on the corner of First and Galt Avenue, the old hotel building, and that's a beautiful building.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I just feel like, there's been way too much money spent over the last few years that basically didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
I mean, because like that building to me right now, it's a liability to Fort Payne.
Yeah.
Does that $750,000 also include some warehouses, or
It
is
runs-
it just that
it's-
one building?
No,
or
it
is
runs
the whole block.
Yeah, it's a whole block,
Okay.
basically. It runs from the city park, and it's got like a brick exterior there.
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way up behind, and then the street, I guess that may be 2nd Street, that goes down beside Mater's. And it runs all the way to that street.
And so that became available, and the city said, hey, we'll take it, or do you know the process of that?
I don't know the whole process of it. I did hear that there was 2 people that were involved in the gas house that actually ended up owning that building. The gas house didn't own it at the time, I think. I think there was an individual that maybe had an option on it, and he didn't exercise his option to purchase it, and then the city came in and bought it.
Okay.
But
yeah, so you're saying, I think that intersection of city government interfacing with private sector, that the definition of that intersection needs to be adjusted. That where the city comes in and the city can offer help, assistance, easement on regulations, or what? Not easement on regulations, but just a better relationship between the private sector and the public sector, and let's let the private sector handle some of those things.
Oh, definitely.
And not let the city be involved in that.
Yeah, definitely. And campaigning, I hear a lot about, bowling alleys, movie theaters, that kind of stuff. And that's a private sector thing.
There's not much the city can do about
not
that.
a whole lot at all that the city can do, I feel like our kids that are from, 2 to 10, they cover it because we got splash pads, we got playgrounds and this, that, and the other. But once you get to 11, 12 years old, it's kind of not a lot for the kids to do.
Yeah. We're going to talk more with Pete Davis right after this. You're listening or watching Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back.
My Supply is my hometown hardware store. At My Supply, I never have to wander aimlessly around the store looking for what I need. I know that when I walk through the door, I'm going to be greeted by a person and helped right away. So whether you're looking for plumbing, electrical, hand or power tools, welding supplies, standard or metric fasteners, or anything else to help with your home projects and repairs, shop My Supply on Godfrey Avenue in Northeast Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. My Supply, your hometown hardware store.
Do you need to declutter? Wish you could free up some valuable space at work or home? Helium Mini Storage has climate control units available, and all their units are gated for maximum protection. You can also store your stuff at home with their Four Seasons or Max Steel storage buildings for sale. Just come by Helium Mini Storage on Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And while you're there, be sure to check out play sets for the kids. Store your stuff with Helium Mini Storage.
Hi, this is Alabama Speaker of the House, Nathaniel Ledbetter, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB.
Y'all ready for some great country music tonight?
Saturday night, August the 16th at the Pick and Post in Fort Payne, Alabama. It's the legendary David Wills.
'Cause there's a song on the jukebox I want to hear 1,000 times. Hey, I've done it all, and I'll tell you, horse, don't do anything I wouldn't do. No anchors, just sail.
David Wills, Saturday night, August the 16th at the Pick and Post, located at 893 Old Highway 35 East in Fort Payne, Alabama. With opening acts, the Foggy Hollow Review and Cody Eubanks and the Quitting Time Band. Doors open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Get your tickets at davidwillsmusic.com. A Georgia Legends concert.
These guys are awesome. That's all I can say. Wow.
All right, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Brian Northcutt, Steve Chambers, Holly Allen. A lot of my students over here today. We got Pete Davis in studio right now talking about the mayor's race. Before we get to that, well, you want to...
Yeah, bring them up. Cattle Stampede.
Cattle Stampede. Got a new sponsor, new segment sponsor. Cattle Stampede has joined the Lunch with Bryan and Steve gang. Mondays on Cattle Stampede, all day senior buffet for just $9.99. That includes a drink.
That includes a drink. You can
Senior
get that
buffet? Okay.
Yeah.
We in.
That's all you can eat. A salad bar, dessert bar.
I'm not quite there, but I'm close. Specials on the lunch buffet every day of the week for $10.59. Tuesdays pepper steak, Wednesdays spaghetti, Thursdays sirloin tips, Fridays wings. 4 different flavors of wings, a salad and dressing bar included. So thank you guys.
Salad and dressing bar? Did I say dressing?
I don't know.
Dessert.
I don't think anybody edited.
Dessert.
Oh, that's dessert. There's
Okay,
no T
I'm sorry.
on it.
I was in a hurry.
But there's
That was
dressing
like
on the salad bar.
Yeah.
There's dressing on the
There's
salad
a whole
bar.
bar that's
there you go.
devoted to
A whole
just
bar?
dressing.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
Let's make that. All right, so Cattle Stampede down by the interstate on the south end of town. Those guys are really good. That's some good food down there.
Yeah.
It's really good. So
They
go
still
down
do
there.
breakfast Friday and Saturday. Maybe?
Yes, I believe so. Man, I hate it when you ask me questions that I don't know the answer to. Christy Poe, answer that question on Facebook. I know
There we
you're
go.
watching. Do they? What was that?
Breakfast on Fridays.
I
and
think they do.
Saturdays.
Right, I
'Cause
think
our
they
men's
do.
group meets down there. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Lions
Anyway.
Club met there for a
So
long
Cattle Stampede, a full sponsor, segment sponsor on Lunch with Bryan and Steve. So one of the things, I was going to tell you this funny story about Pete Davis. So, and I'm not even sure I've told you this. But so my new job
There
at the
goes
church,
the candidacy.
my job at the church as the youth pastor, on occasion, Jeff or whoever would ask for me to preach. And so one Sunday, I'm preaching, and at our church, if you're standing at the preaching lectern, which is on the stage right.
Preaching lectern?
Well, you know what I mean. Like where you stand to preach, because the other side is not the preaching one. The one on the right is the preaching one.
That's in the CLC.
Okay.
All right. No, this was in the sanctuary. This is in the
Yeah.
sanctuary. So when you're standing there, there's a chandelier that blocks the view of certain seats in the balcony. And so I start to preach, and I'm about to pull the scriptures out, and I'm about to open it up, and I glance up, and I see a guy from the community, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, just somebody from the community that was a shock for me to see there. And it was such a shock, I was like, why is he here? It was one of those, I'm like, and I was, in my head, this is how preaching goes. It's just how it is. I'm going,
Now we know.
why is this guy here? Who is this?
Well, maybe God's doing something.
What is he
in him.
doing? And it was so distracting.
So
I mean, it was one of those that rarely does this happen, but I'm so distracted, I almost can't keep going. Like I'm reading God's word, and I'm going, why is he here? Why is he here? Why is he here? What is he doing here? And the Holy Spirit is working on me going, just calm down and preach what I've told you to preach.
Oh, my
And I'm like,
goodness.
okay, that's fine. So I finally got through that moment, and I'm calmed down, and I'm back into the sermon, and I'm preaching what I'm supposed to preach. And there was at some point that I walk away from that, and I walk away from the podium, and I stand out in the middle, and I look up and I go, oh my gosh, that's Pete Davis.
It wasn't who you thought it was.
It wasn't who I thought it was at all.
Oh, that's
it was Pete. And
hysterical.
I'm like, well, that's Pete Davis. Oh my gosh. And then the Holy Spirit's like, you see, just do what I tell you to do,
My
and quit
goodness.
worrying about who's
That's
up
right.
there. Because I thought Pete, it looked, I mean,
I would love to know who you
I'll
think.
tell you later.
That's right.
Just like, it looked just like through the little bars of the chandelier. It looked,
in our community.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
You'll know
Jeff-
who it is. I'll explain it later and make all the sense in the world.
Okay.
But I can't tell you who it is right now.
Yeah, Jeff has actually mentioned to me, he said, you sit behind that chandelier. And I'm like, yep, I do, Jeff. And I said, but I promise I'm not sleeping. I'm listening.
No,
you
you
know?
were engaged. You
Oh,
were
yeah.
looking. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why is he here? Why? And then I walk out and it's Pete Davis. So I was
Oh,
like,
that's
okay, well, that's
funny.
good.
Yeah, I think
So-
maybe you did tell me that story one time. Yep, that's for sure.
Oh,
But-
so what? Let's see. Y'all were talking about during the break. Steve, you want to bring up what y'all were discussing about the property?
The
Carden property, I think.
The Carden property,
Yeah.
yep. Beautiful piece of property. I mean, it really is, you know. And I'm not sure where the city will end up going with that property, but I do know that, you know, it could be something nice, something wonderful for the community and what have you. But it's going to take a lot of money to do it, you know. But I had a conversation with a young man that was playing golf one day, and I was working in my yard, and he grew up in Fort Payne, Alabama, went to school in Birmingham, and took a job with Innovate Alabama. And
Now, what is that?
that is a nonprofit group that I guess they do grants, and they have money that the federal government, I guess, gives to them, and
Yeah.
they can divvy it out with people that write them a grant for different things. So anyway, he told me that a year or so ago he went to the city council or to Fort Payne City and told them, he said, you know, with this piece of property up here, I've got like $25 million that I can divvy up this year. And if y'all will write a grant and ask me for money, but it has to be for walking trails, bike trails, something outdoor stuff.
Okay.
And he said, you know, I can get you some money. And he told me, he said, probably could have come up with about $2 million. So he said he gets a grant from them, and they asked for security cameras at the rec department. So he said, needless to say, Fort Payne did not get any money from me that year.
Yeah.
So this year he's got like $5 million because they cut his funds, but he's, so far he's not heard a word from anybody as far as getting any money now, but I mean, $2 million, you miss out on $2 million that you could do something with that property on.
Yeah.
That's big time in my opinion, and that, that's just kind of one of the shortfalls that I see that, I don't know the reasoning for it. And like I said, when I started going to city council meetings and whatever, there was just so many times I left there just puzzled. I'm kind of like, where are they going with this?
And you've been attending those regularly. For how long? How long have you been going?
Probably over a year now. I've gone to every.
And that contributed to your decision.
It did. It was one of the biggest contributors, I guess, because, I just thought I could be an asset if I ran for council and whatever, and I mean, and also when I started talking about running for council, I decided I was going to go visit other cities' council meetings to find out how they run their council meetings and whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I messed up and went to Albertville first.
Oh, the infamous Albertville.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, those people are professionals over there, in my opinion. And their council meetings are all business meetings. I mean, it's like, they know what's on the agenda. They know the answers to their questions before they get asked the question.
Do you think they're meeting on the side or they're having conversations?
Oh, I'm sure they probably have work sessions and what have you, but I mean, they have the 5 council members that sit on the pedestal, podium, whatever you call it, and the mayor. And of course, the mayor doesn't speak unless he's spoken to, because he's not a part of it's just like Fort Payne. He's basically not a part of the council because he doesn't have a vote, But he was there, and there was maybe one time that, he did get to say something. They asked him something, and it could have been a yes or no answer as far as I know. I can't remember. But basically, he's there in support of the council and what have you. But, I mean, they were just so businesslike. And then I got to know one of the council members, and we talked, a good bit and whatever. And I asked him, I said, how do y'all do this? And he said, well, we've got like 4 council people that's been on the council for nearly 20 years. I've been on here for 12 years or so. And he said, we really work well together. And he said, the last couple of elections, we've not even been having any opposition, because people think we're doing a good job, I guess.
Wow. Okay.
Of course, now this year I see that they do have some opposition.
Okay.
There are some people that's running for council over there, and same way with the mayor. I think the mayor over there has been there for 12 years or so,
Yeah.
And but they just do a good job. But I was just impressed with the way they operated their council meetings as a business. I mean, it was business-like.
So how do you see the mayor here? What would that look like for you as far as our council meetings, and how you would see and envision those going? Assuming that you got the council that you would prefer to work with, and I'm sure you've got some preferences on who you would like to see get the nod there. But do you see yourself more as I'm going to go administrate what the council does, or I'm going to, and I don't know. There's so much of this that we're still learning.
Oh yeah.
What does the mayor do?
You do have veto power, don't you?
You got veto power, and of course the veto power. If you be vetoed, like the grocery store deal or the DeKalb Plaza deal or even the gas house deal, let's say, because if they're going to spend a large sum of money or whatever the case may be, the mayor, and I'll use the grocery store deal as a reference.
The Food City.
Because the money went to drinker development. It did not go to Food City. A lot of people think it went to Food City, but it actually went to the developer there who developed it. And but there was 100+ people showed up at a meeting and basically asked the city not to do that deal. And, the mayor's job should have been to speak up for the people, should have vetoed that, and then it would have went back to the city council. And with a 2/3 vote, which means there would have had to have been 4 of the council members vote for it in order for it to pass, it could have still passed. But if he would have, if he would have been a voice for the people and vetoed it, and then it went back, there was a 3-2 vote, that got it to pass to start with. So,
but now wouldn't he? In fairness. Oh, is it time? Golly, it's time. All right, I want to come back and finish up. I want to wrap that up. Wow, these are good conversations. We're going to be top of the hour break. We're glad that you're joining us on Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back right after this.
So long.
Cheers.
Adios.
Bye, Felicia. Don't let the door hit you.
More and more people are saying goodbye to pests with Safe Solutions Plus LLC. And it's no wonder with their top-notch customer service, quality products, and lower prices. And now with their new website, it's never been easier to manage your pest control service with Safe Solutions Plus. Just visit sspestandtermite.com to view your billing details, make payments online, and review past services. Family-owned and operated, Safe Solutions Plus is located at 934 Main Street West in Rainsville. Call 256-638-7378. Safe Solutions Plus, protecting homes and businesses one solution at a time.
Hey then. Bye.
Hey, it's Chris Stewart, the voice of the Crimson Tide, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB Radio. Roll Tide.
Rawson Pools is eliminating every reason why you can't have your very own. No cash on hand? There's financing available at Rawson Pools. Ground too rocky? Rawson Pools is installing hybrid above-ground pools with 14-gauge steel panels, making it more durable and cost-effective than your average above-grounder. Check out their Facebook page to see what 30 years of pool installation experience can give you. Call 256-638-5904 to take the plunge. And always visit Rawson Pool and Supply Store in Rainsville for all your pool supply and accessory needs. Rawson Pools, the pool professionals. Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
This is WZOB Fort Payne, 100.9 FM and 1250 AM.
Oh, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Brian Northcutt, Steve Chambers, Holly Allen in studio down in the basement of FPTV. We are live and in charge. We've got a segment sponsor. This segment, Fort Payne Footworks, down in downtown Fort Payne. You can buy all kinds. They've got sales every day down there. We're excited to have them on board as a full sponsor. No matter the season, there are always great deals. Quality shoes and name brand outdoor apparel located at 226 Galt Avenue North in downtown Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays, 9 to 3, and Sundays, 12 to 5. To go down there and see Jack. Just find out what his opinion is on all things Fort Payne.
Or Jill. Or you can dodge that and go to Jill.
Yeah, or you can just
yeah, that's right.
You can get Jack come out of his shell and talk.
I just wish that Jack would say what's on his mind.
I mean, you know, really. Jack used to call me occasionally, you know, and it was like, okay, Jack, you know, and then I got to place. I quit answering phone sometimes, and he'd text me, and I wouldn't respond. And,
poor Jack.
But, you know, you got to love the guy, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't mean any harm, but he just needs to take a breath every now and then, you know.
He's very passionate.
He is
very
passionate, no
yeah,
doubt.
Yeah.
But he's good, and he's got a great business downtown.
He does.
I mean, you know,
yeah.
I don't know how you could put anything else in that store.
I know.
You know, I mean,
I don't know what we bought, but I did see it roll through our banking account this week. Did you buy something? Okay. My daughter got a hold of the debit card.
Don't be calling me out here.
You have to go to the back to find the shoes now, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, they're right when you walk in the front door.
Oh, so anyway, thank you, Jack and Jill. That's always funny to say, Jack.
I know,
and Jill,
it's crazy.
For sponsoring Lunch with Bryan and Steve. So we were talking last segment about the $3.1 million that went to get the Food City development in the south end of town. And I wanted to mention this because I want to be fair to Mayor Bain, and just is it my understanding that it was because he had worked for Bruce's for so long, and there's such a vocal presence in that meeting that he felt the need to recuse himself. Am I correct in that? Or am I just out there on my own? I don't know.
I don't
have a
think
clue.
I don't think he had a vote. To start.
We didn't have a vote, but
Yeah.
he wasn't. He didn't step into that spot because of.
He didn't
of that
veto
connection.
it.
He didn't veto it, but I don't know.
But there's a lot of local people working there.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And my thing was, if you get 100 people, I mean, if I'm the mayor,
There was a definite. There
if
was
I
a
get
definite
elected
pushback.
mayor
Yeah.
and there's 100 people show up and they say, I don't want you to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to at least go to the council and say, look, we had 100 citizens out here that said they don't want us to do this.
Yeah.
We need to look at it again,
Yeah.
And right now there's a couple of empty buildings on the south side of Food City that
Yeah, you're right.
are unoccupied.
Speaking of Jack, he posted
and
that.
no revenue coming out of them, Negotiations was probably the biggest thing that went wrong in that deal there, because they should have negotiated it to where, if you give, I don't care how much money you give them. If you give them $1 million or $3 million, if you give them $3 million, give them $1 million up front, give them $1 million when the doors open, and then the other $1 million don't come until those two buildings are occupied and we get tax revenue off of them.
Was that part of the original agreement? Those two buildings occupied. I mean, it's
I don't
south
know.
side, as you
Yeah,
said, but
yeah,
it's enough
yeah.
for two stores.
Yeah, it's actually got 3 doors on it, I think.
So there's nothing in that building but Food
No,
City.
it's actually nothing. It's not even been finished out on the inside, I don't think, Yeah, the Food City's the only thing there, and the Starbucks inside the Food City.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to, I think it's great we got another grocery store, people, they wanted a new grocery store. It's like me and you, we live on the north end of town. It's real convenient.
it's not about the grocery store. It's about how it got here.
Yeah, that's right. It's about how it got here and the money that we spent without negotiating it. And, you could have had a time frame. If these two buildings aren't occupied in, a year and we're not getting tax revenue off of them, then that other $1 million goes away.
Is that a negotiation between that developer and the 5 members of the city council and going, here's what we're going to provide. If you guys will provide this, you're going to see this.
I think so.
In the numbers.
Yes,
Okay.
I would feel like
and
that
the
would be
mayor
right.
would sit in on that, but he wouldn't be able to really, he's not in the position, but I guess he can have conversations.
He can have conversations. Yeah. I mean, and that's what the Alabama League of Municipalities, that's what it says. It says that the mayor is the day-to-day, he's supposed to run day-to-day operations in a city. He's actually the chief executive officer for the city. So Fort Payne is a business. I mean, this is the way I look at it now. Fort Payne is a business. It's a big business. $30-some million in, the budget is $30-some million. Well, if you've got a budget of $30-some million, then, I mean, right now we teetering on $3.5 million in our general fund.
Yeah.
We've got about $4.5 million in savings, CDs, what have you, drawn a little interest. It costs the city about $2.7 million a month to operate. So we're kind of close there.
Yeah.
And we could take money out of the savings, but you don't really want to do that. And then, my thing is, I think if you got a nearly $3 million a month that you got to use to operate on, you need $6 million in your general fund. And
well, Dave Ramsey says 6 months, so that'd be 18 million.
I'm going there next, because I think our savings, if you got a $30 million or so budget, you ought to have $12 to $15 million in the savings, and that'd put you around $20 million. If you had 6 here and 12, 15 there, and I've been spending a good deal of time visiting with the treasurer in Fort Payne and talking to different people in City Hall that do certain jobs, and he told me back in October when the millage tax for the school that came about, the city has spent the money. It was like $1.8 million. So when it come time to pay it, they could have taken money out of the savings and paid it, but they decided, he addressed it and said, look, we drawing this much interest over here on savings, and we can get a line of credit interest rate will be a little less, so we'll actually be still making a little money if we leave our savings alone. And so they borrowed $2 million in order to be able to pay that millage tax. It's going to be paid back soon, but
it's on a credit.
It's on a credit. Yeah. So my thing there was, and I spoke to Brian Jett about this, that really wasn't their money to spend. To me, that money should have gone into a special account, should have drawn interest on it, And when it comes time to pay it, you pay it. You keep the interest.
Yeah.
You use their money to make you some money for a while,
Yeah.
So, but, that's all hindsight. I mean, I look at it like, if I get elected, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start from ground zero. And I think I can make Fort Payne better just by making better business decisions and making recommendations and advising the council on what to do. And I really, truly feel like there's some good guys out there that would have patience enough to know that we got to, first of all, cut out all the wasteful spending and, know that we got to build some, equity in the city. And, I think there's some guys that probably will be elected that will have that feeling,
So, well, you answered one of my questions already I was going to ask you the priorities for funding. And you said less waste, more judicious, I guess you'd say. So would you pursue grants before do you think it might come down and you have to raise tax to 10%?
I don't see where you would have to raise tax to 10%. And talking to the treasurer, he's pretty much led me to believe that if we went through about an 18-month to 2-year period where we did nothing but spend the necessary funds to run the city, we could get back to where we have, a good balance in the general fund and what have you, and we could probably start saving between $2 and $4 million a year. So, to me, that's big time, because if you go through 4 years and it takes you the first two to get you back to where you can actually start putting back a good chunk of money, then you got 2 more years. Say you only save $2 million a year, you $4 million and you already got $4 million, so that's 8. If you could do that for 4 more years, then you where the savings needs to be basically, and you got some money, and a lot of grants and whatever you do, you have to do matching funds.
Okay.
So a lot of times, I mean, right now, if you needed a $20 million grant and you had to match.
Yeah.
There
ain't no money there.
There ain't no money there to do it, so it's kind of painful knowing, and that's one thing people have asked me about when I'm campaigning. They like, do you even know what you're getting into? I mean, it's kind of like, do you know this, and it's kind of like, yeah, but what are we going to do 4 years from now? I mean, if we continue in this path we're going in, how bad is it going to be 4 years from now?
So how do you prioritize? Because one of the things that talking to Mayor Bain and Walter Watson and some of the others about these things have been kicked down, or quote unquote kicked down the road, some of these projects, the sewer system and things like that had to be money spent on it, and they needed to be done. So how do you prioritize? If I go home and there's a water leak in my basement, I've got to call the plumber now. I got to call him now.
Yeah.
I don't have the option to go, well, let me go see how much is in my account. How do you prioritize that, or how do you think through that? I know you have as a businessman, but where do you think about the funds, the projects, prioritizing, all of that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, that's one of those things where you got to cut out your wasteful spending.
Okay.
I mean, you cut out wasteful spending, then you're going to have some funds. I mean, and like I said, it's not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, it's not going to happen, in the next year or so. We're going to have to really tighten our belt for a year or so,
Yeah.
But after that, you really should have funds. I mean, Fort Payne's tax revenue's good, and we could surely work on making it better. We could put a little pressure on Drinker to get somebody in those 2 buildings down there, and I mean, they've committed another $1 million to DeKalb Plaza. They're going to give him $500,000 when he starts construction, and another $500,000 when the Marshalls opens the door. They're going to give Marshalls like $1.5 million in tax abatement. So it's kind of like, really, I mean. And that's kind of, I don't know, that's back to my cleaning up the city thing too, because, like I said, I've been here 40 years and DeKalb Plaza's not changed one iota except for a little facade on the outside of the building when I knew somebody comes in, but like that ditch in front of DeKalb Plaza, terrible. I mean, it looks awful, and that's one of the entrances into Fort Payne, I mean, do something. Let's do something there. Put a little pressure. I mean, it's probably state right away, so Drinker can't do anything. But instead of giving him $1 million, let's spend $250,000-$300,000 on cleaning up that ditch there.
Have you spoken to other mayors
Hang on.
We'll get with that.
We got one more second. And you do know about right-of-ways nowadays, don't you? So we'll come back with more Lunch with Bryan and Steve right after this.
Y'all ready for some great country music tonight?
Saturday night, August the 16th at the Pick Post in Fort Payne, Alabama. It's the legendary David Wills.
'Cause there's a song on the jukebox I want to hear 1,000 times. Hey, I've done it all, and I'll tell you, horse, don't do anything I wouldn't do. No anchors, just sail.
David Wills, Saturday night, August the 16th at the Pick Post, located at 893 Old Highway 35 East in Fort Payne, Alabama. With opening acts, the Foggy Hollow Review and Cody Eubanks and the Quitting Time Band. Doors open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Get your tickets at davidwillsmusic.com. A Georgia Legends concert.
These guys are awesome. That's all I can say. Wow.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
This is Judge Andrew Hairston, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB.
When you need to give something special, visit Tracy's in North Fort Payne. Beautiful floral arrangements, fresh or silk, stylish jewelry, scented candles and pampering products, cuddly stuffed animals, balloons, and candy. Tracy can help you put together the perfect gift and gourmet basket. Potted plants or hanging baskets with fresh spring flowers. At Tracy's, you're sure to find that unique gift that shows just how much you care. Tracy's is located at 2103 Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 and Saturdays from 9 to noon. For every occasion, visit Tracy's full-service florist, personalized printing, and gifts.
All right, we are back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve in studio, episode 24, WZOB with 1250 AM, 100.9 FM. We're on Facebook live streaming. The show is archived on YouTube. We've got Pete Davis, mayoral candidate, in studio today, and our segment sponsor for this segment is Southern Properties. Glenn Horton and everybody down at Southern Properties in downtown Fort Payne can meet all of your home sale needs. If your home is by far the biggest expense and most important. So when you're buying or selling your home, you'll want the experience, professionalism, and integrity for which Southern Properties Agency in Fort Payne is known. Call 256-845-6000 to achieve your best possible results. Southern Property Agency, thorough, trustworthy, experienced real estate professionals since 1992. So go check them out. We use Southern Properties with our real estate, and you should too. That's me. Like, not we, it's in WZOB or Lunch with Bryan and Steve. That's just me and Claire and I use Southern Properties.
Use I and me statements, Bryan.
I know, I and me statements.
Well, go get them and we'll advertise.
Yeah, there we go. So we're excited to have Pete Davis. And Pete was saying earlier, this kind of the not the politics, not the issues, not the things, just the running for office and being in the public eye. And talk about that, what you had said during the break.
Yeah, I found that, and I get choked up when I talk about this, but it's been a very humbling experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you knock on somebody's door, and they just, right off the bat, they come out and they say, I want to just let you know how much I appreciate you running. And, just thank you for running. And I mean, there's just so many people that's just, they just like, I don't know why you putting yourself out there and putting yourself in this position and putting your family in this position.
You don't have to.
No. And they just, they tell you how much they appreciate it. And, it's just very humbling. And I never expected that. especially not in the large, I guess, that many people. I mean, there's just lots of people that has come out and just basically told me thank you and whatever, and it means a lot, you know.
Yeah, sure.
So,
well, you hear a lot of the negatives, so you need to hear some positive.
Like I said, I did that flyer, and of course, I had a couple of texts that was just totally off the wall, but and I'll just tell you one that was, and I'm gonna make it.
So you put a flyer out with your personal phone number on it?
Yes. Well, actually, I added a phone number to my phone for the campaign, and I put that on that flyer. But I had someone text me, and I'm knocking on doors, and they asked me what my stance on cats in the city limits of Fort Payne was, and animal owners, cat owners, or whatever, you know. So I'm kind of thinking, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that one up because I've looked up ordinances on dogs, but I hadn't really looked up one for a cat. But anyway, I walk up to the next house, and as I'm walking up the sidewalk, there's about 5 kittens walking around. And I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But
they're the one that takes you.
That's where he was next door to the people. They were wanting to deal with.
Yeah, they probably saw me walking down. No, there's about 5 kittens. So I knock on the door, and a guy comes to the door, and I introduced myself, whatever, and then I said, I got to show you something. And I showed him that text message, and he said, I wonder if they'd want a cat. And I was like, I don't think so. He was like, how about you? Would you like a couple of cats? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. But
you never know.
You never know. But it was just so coincidental. And it was just the timing was just unreal. And I was like, that's funny right there.
That's funny. All right, Steve's going to go rapid fire because these are some questions that we've asked most of the other candidates. So I think we've kind of beating a dead horse, beating a dead cat on all this stuff. So, Steve, rapid fire these things.
Should councilman be on city boards?
I'm not opposed to councilman being on city boards.
Okay.
Should, back in the day, the candidates, you had a Republican primary, a Democratic primary, and like in Rainsville, they seed them place 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, I'm good with that large. I think now it does seem to mean a lot to the citizens of Fort Payne because I get asked that question a lot. You know, I used a lot of blue in my campaign signs. People ask me if I was a Democrat.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, what? And they like, you used a lot of blue. You got on a blue shirt. And I'm like, yeah.
Steve?
No, I'm a Republican,
I'm a Democrat, and I'm
just
not
partial
an
to the
color
blue.
Yeah. But I'm like,
one of my favorite
the
colors,
signs,
too.
I'm like, well, it caught your eye, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, and I actually had early on, I had a guy.
That's funny.
It was funny. I had a guy come to me, and he said, I've helped a lot of people in political campaigns, and I really think you need to change your sign. And he said, you ought to use some bright reds, bright greens, whatever. And I'm like, it's a little too late now, but because I've got 200 signs here.
Are they red, white, and blue?
Yeah, but they just got a lot of
background's blue.
Yeah,
so that's
but then that was my thing. I never thought about it being the other way around.
Yeah.
I thought red, white, and blue was patriotic.
Yeah, I always thought if you're, other than some of the council members doing black and gold because it's Fort Payne, but
right.
That is interesting.
What else you guys do?
All right, so they show up on the right of ways very well. Those signs.
They do, and as a matter of fact, there was one that showed up too well, I guess. I mean, I
was trying to just slide it in.
I wanted to do our promo out there.
We did. If it wasn't raining, we were going to do our promo.
And I was kind of hoping that would happen, but I did love the 50-yard line, and I may have to go see Miss Chet and see if I can't work that out. But
it looked good out there.
It would look good out there. Yeah. But the one on 49th Street. It was amazing at how much response I got from that, and most people
from the sign being there, or from you having to take it down.
From both, actually. When I first put it up there, everybody's like, "How in the world did you get that sign up there?" And it was there for 3 or 4 weeks, I guess. And I went to a city council meeting, and they said, hey, we need to talk to you after the meeting. I said, okay, and they told me that a person running for council had asked about putting one up there, and beside where mine was at.
Okay.
And they told them it was on the right of way. They couldn't do it. So, going to ask me to take mine down. But, Dr. Mendiola lives just above that. Mm-hmm. I went to see Dr. Mendiola, and I said, I'd love to put a sign up here. And he said, that's the right of way. It's fine with me. Go for it. And I said, well, I don't want to draw any attention to your house or anything. Yeah. So, I don't want to do it.
So you did what you thought you were supposed to
do.
Oh,
yeah. Because, I actually called City Hall before I ever put up the first sign, whether it was a yard sign or a billboard sign or whatever, and got the rules and whatever about putting signs up. But, that's a rock ledge over there. There's no maintenance as far as the city goes there. There's no grass to cut.
Yeah.
And, I thought, well, I don't see any harm in it, but obviously, it didn't work out that way. But I actually ran into the person they told me that had asked about putting a sign up there and asked him if he had called and asked anything about it. And he told me no, that he did not, and that he didn't even have any big signs, and he didn't plan on getting any big signs. So,
conspiracy continued.
That one kind of stung me just a little bit.
Yes, meter went off.
But, that's life. that's politics.
Yeah.
And, you just kind of, I try to take the high road on everything. I don't like negative campaigning at all. I
haven't heard it all.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And I've had some text messages or seen some stuff on Facebook where people talked about people being negative, and I thought, well, I hadn't seen it. I've not seen any real negative campaigning, and I actually went to Brian's office one day when I was going to see the treasurer, and I told him, I said, Brian, we both got a campaign to run, and I'm going to fact check everything that I put out there and whatever, and I'll not spew any kind of misinformation or whatever. And I said, please don't take it personal. I said, please, please, let's just keep this up on the up and
civil.
Yes, keep it civil. And I said, and I promise you, I said, but anything I do, I'll make sure it's a fact. And I said, I just, I don't want you to feel like you gonna take it personal or something, Mm-hmm. And he said, fine, same with me. And I was like, well, good.
Okay. Well, you know what? We didn't. We do you have any more?
Trivia question.
Oh, trivia question. Well, I was going to say we didn't. We normally kind of go into like your married life and Pam and kids. And we've been sticking to the issues. What is wrong with us?
Yeah, and you got about 2 or 3 minutes. So
right
okay, so we only got a few minutes. So we got Pete for just a second.
What's Pam's favorite color?
It is blue.
Oh, is that where the sign came from? The campaign sign?
No, actually it didn't, but she's got blue eyes.
I'm so glad you got that right. If you just said pink, that's what she said.
That's what she said. That's right. Yeah. It kind of, I would like to take us a minute, because one of my things is people don't know Pete Davis. That's one of my biggest obstacles out there is I get a lot from a whole lot of people saying people don't know who Pete Davis is. So if I could just take a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, I grew up in a small town in Virginia. And
what's the name of the town?
It's called South Boston.
Okay.
And I always try to not refer to that because people think of Boston. And it's kind of like, of course, when I moved to Fort Payne, I had to explain to people Virginia was a southern state, and I emphasized the word was. But anyway, something happened. But, and then, like I said, Pam moved up there, and when she graduated Auburn, went to work for Westinghouse, and then they were building this plant out here, but it sit for like 9 years. So she met me, and the rest of the story's history there. But, so when we got an opportunity to move back to Fort Payne, Tripp was a year old, and we just thought, it'd be a great place to raise kids, because we'd visited here several times. And, Pam's mom and dad, they were the best. I mean, if you knew her daddy, he was unbelievable. But anyway, we moved here in '88, and I worked for Jack Everett and Ruston Hosiery Mill. He was building a new mill at the time. He hired me to be kind of like a general manager and help him get his new mill set up and this, that, and the other. And I was with him, I don't know, a couple of years or so, and the Sears catalog store came available. They started selling off franchises. So I bought the franchise for the Sears catalog, ran it for a couple of years, and Sears decided they were going to get out of the catalog business. So they offered me a buyout to buy my franchise back from me. And so I agreed. I was like, sure, fine. Then they came back and said, we would like to keep a hardline store in Fort Payne. We'd like you to keep the store going, selling appliances and this, that, and the other. And we're going to pay you half of that money that we offered you. And I was kind of like, I think maybe not. I think it'll take me 5 years to make that up. So I think I'll just take my money and run. And so I did that, and then I worked with DeVan Lowe, sold cars, and worked in the finance office there for him. And then I went to work with Ed Westmoreland at Westmoreland Tire, and Ed Westmoreland's probably one of the greatest people in Fort Payne, in my opinion.
I agree.
And then I worked in his commercial line, though. So I called on trucking companies and forestry people, sold the big tires, you know. Once my boys graduated high school in 05 and 08, I kind of got out of the scene of Fort Payne, I guess you could say, because I was basically gone out of town every day and back in the afternoons and whatever, you know. But, you know, it was a great experience. I mean, the Westmoreland family was great, and, you know, Ed treated me like a son basically while I was there. And the last 4 or 5 years or 6, 7 years that I was there, he took me off the road as a sales guy and made me sales manager. And I had 4 guys that worked under me. Yeah. And then I was like all over the place. I went, you know, all over Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, and just depending on which direction people needed help in, you know. Yeah. So, but then when I left there, I actually got the opportunity to drive a bus for Fort Payne. And, of course, Dr. Atkins assigned me the mountain route like she does everybody when you come on board. And a week before school started, I had subbed on a special needs bus when I was subbing when you first start out. And I went in and told her one day, I said, you know, if one of those buses ever come available, I'd like to have it. Yeah. Well, a week before school started, when I got my full-time job, she called me and she said, hey, 206 is available. And she said, do you want it? And I think before she got it out of her mouth, I said, yeah, I want it. And she said, are you sure? And I'm thinking, you know, there's 20 guys over there that's ahead of me in seniority, and nobody's taking this bus. And I'm just thrilled to death because to me, I got the best bus on the lot. You know, I mean, it's like those kids are so special, and you just get attached to them. And, I mean, you know, she'd take 1 or 2 off of my route sometime and go and put them on somebody else's bus, and I'd go in lobbying for them to stay on my bus, you know. And she's like, but, you know, your route's so long. And I'm like, don't worry about it. You know, that's I mean, good. I'm going to be here for 2 hours, 2.5 hours anyway. You know, why? You know, what difference does it make, you know? Yeah. But it's because I get attached to the kids. I get attached to their parents. I mean, you know, it's just, she told me the other day, I was lobbying for one. She was going to take off there. And she said, Pete, you got to quit getting attached to these kids, you know? And I'm like, sorry. Yeah. You know,
man, that's good.
Not me.
Well, Pete, thank you. Good luck.
Well, thank you very much.
We're getting short. Thank you for taking time to spend with us. Thanks for lunch over here that we'll enjoy here shortly.
Hope y'all enjoy it.
And,
thank you, Pam.
Thank you, Pam.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't do a thing. I went to a budget meeting this morning.
Blue-eyed Pam.
So Pete Davis, mayoral candidate. We'll be back with more Lunch with Bryan and Steve right after this.
DeKalb Fix-It Appliance Warehouse is a mouthful, so Terry and Bobby have decided to drop the fix-it and focus on giving you the best prices on new appliances. Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, Amana, LG, Samsung, GE, and more. Up to 75% off retail priced on new scratched and dent appliances. And as your Electrolux and Frigidaire dealer, DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is passing on more savings to you with even more new in-box selections. Need a refrigerator? Come in today and shop our overstocked warehouse. You will not get a better deal anywhere. We guarantee to match or beat any price. In-house service available to all as well. DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is open weekdays 9 to 5, Wednesdays and Saturdays 9 to noon. Located on Airport Road in Fort Payne.
Hi, everybody. This is Greg Fowler. I work with the group Alabama, the Alabama Band Fan Club and Museum, and you are having lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB. All right. That was painless.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Leone has been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
All right, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Brian Northcutt, Steve Chambers, Holly Allen. We just got through visiting with Pete Davis, mayoral candidate for the city of Fort Payne. Election's coming up August the 26th. That one's not going to go to runoff. That's going to be straight up right then. He and Mayor Bain.
Unless you get a lot of write-in votes.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of write-in votes, especially since I'm not campaigning. We do have another segment sponsor, Northcutt Real Estate, which coincidentally is my last name. If you're looking for nightly rentals, you can contact Claire at Northcutt Real Estate. We all kinds of housing needs, short-term, medium-term, long-term. We've got fully furnished, fully equipped, everything ready to go places for your stay, not just for weekends and like Airbnb type stuff, but also a little bit longer. So we do a lot of corporate arrangements with local companies and hospitals and people coming in for medium-term stays where it's a month, 2 months, 6 months. We've even got a guy who's been with us for 2 years, who's on short term for 2 years, an executive of one of the plants in town.
What's his idea of long term?
I think we're moving off of that. So anyway, Northcutt Real Estate, you can actually click the QR code right there and get to our website. Your lodging solutions for a day or a decade. Northcutt Real Estate. They're a segment sponsor for Lunch with Bryan and Steve right now. So that was a good conversation.
It was.
I enjoyed that. Pete was
insightful.
He was insightful. He came prepped. He had notes. Did you notice that? He had his notes out there.
Yeah, that's what threw me off. I said, look, Brian, you got notes.
You should do that on our show.
Just try it. Just 1 hour.
Oh, I hope you guys understand or appreciate the fact that we're trying to stay in the middle of all this. We are trying to stay as neutral as we can, and we've talked about our opinions and having kind of some idea of who we think ought to be elected officials, and we got our ideas. We talk about it off air. We just try not to do anything publicly, just because we want to maintain the ability to interview without it being tainted or appearance of being tainted. And I think we've been fair with everybody and been cordial.
We still have a candidate next week.
We do, and we do have a candidate next week. So he's right under the wire. Jeff Young will be with us next week on the show.
Chance to make a last impression.
Yep, that's it. So
I've seen his yellow sign, I think.
Yes,
Isn't it yellow?
His very yellow.
Very yellow.
What does that mean? If blue's Democrat, red's Republican, what is she? No, never mind.
Well, I think it's black and gold, maybe.
Maybe it's old gold, as Chris would always say.
Yeah.
He calls yellow old gold.
Old gold. It's not Vegas gold.
Yeah, I think we did have that conversation.
Oh, of course. We always talk colors.
Old gold or Vegas gold.
Yeah.
I don't know which one was more yellow.
Yeah, Chris is the color guy, and John Matthew is all about names. So everybody's got their quirks.
What is my
fine.
quirk? What's Steve's quirk?
I don't know. Give me time.
Steve,
I hadn't
what is
worked
your
with Steve
quirk?
long enough, I think.
Yeah, it's only been 2 years.
It's only been.
I think Steve's quirk is do not say anything that appears in any way anti-American, anti-Greatest Generation, World War
is that
II,
right?
That's correct.
Serving in the military. He will correct you quickly.
Oh, okay.
On those things. So that would probably be your quirk.
I love America.
Love
America.
My son has a hat that says
I don't know. I know your quirk. Yours is theology.
Yeah.
So
Don't get
I
me.
don't know. What
Don't
is my
poke the
quirk?
bear.
Where's my quirk? I don't know what my quirk would be. That's like
Staying on topic.
Yeah. It's like flying by the seat.
Wait, where are we going?
I don't know.
It's endearing.
Just hang on for dear life when
it
you're
works.
Bryan Northcutt.
This is about the only thing I can do. That's one of the reasons why I do feel like I'm in the job that was meant for me, is I can be as scatterbrained as I need to be, and it works.
Okay,
So,
well, there you go.
did we do a segment?
You don't
spot?
ever
Yeah, I
seem,
did.
You don't ever seem to
Yeah,
panic.
yours. Yeah.
But
in my head, it just went, "Hey, you didn't do a segment sponsor. Wait a minute,
never
did I do a segment
panics.
sponsor?"
Yeah, that's you make schizophrenia work for you. So not
I
everybody
don't
can
think that's
do that.
schizophrenia. I think that's
multiple person. No, it's not.
That's
It is
got to be
schizophrenia.
ADD.
He hears voices.
It's got to be attention
Claire's-
deficit
She's
disorder.
talked to me often about getting back on meds, but But then you
But
don't
then
get
you
this.
wouldn't be any fun.
Yeah, you don't get
You,
this.
you can't be on meds and do this show.
So let's do rain gauge, Steve. What you got? DK, give me some DK8 and some DK9.
Hey, we've had some rain this week.
In honor,
We have had
of
rain.
Holly's.
Chattanooga had a
And we're not
lot
getting a
of
rant
rain.
today. Yeah, they did. I
Oh,
saw
my
the flooding.
goodness.
Where was that? Where was that flooding in Chattanooga?
Did you see that?
I did.
Do you know where it was
that?
located?
On Chattanooga. I don't
It
know.
was fairly close to downtown.
Was
But
it?
A lot of people said the Tennessee River was overflowing. I said,
There's no way.
it's not the Tennessee River.
That's
But
20 feet.
The tributaries were.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of rain. So what we got?
All right, at DK8,
Which is your house.
Me, that's 3.18 inches.
So that was last week. That was only one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
See, it's amazing what I do remember.
Yes,
It is.
Because all I have to do is get my mower out, and we get 1.5 inches of rain. So, but at DK9, 3 miles from my house, is 6.37
Yep,
inches.
it's still out ahead of the
Yeah,
DK8.
Yeah, I was just wanting to show, in the summertime, it's you never know.
Yeah.
It's about the spot.
It is spotty. It has been very rainy this week. We've been trying to get some stuff done and get everything ready for tomorrow night's broadcast and the stadium. So
What about President Trump's peace talks coming up in Alaska at a heretofore unknown Air Force base?
Really?
Yeah.
With Putin?
Yes, with Putin.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Boy,
for
where have I
safety's sake.
been? When is that? I had
That's-
no idea.
I hadn't heard about that one.
I had not either.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Huh.
Today,
yes.
tomorrow. I had no
And so
idea.
nobody knows where it is?
Well, they
Oh.
will now.
Oh, really?
But, yeah,
Because you're about to announce it?
yeah. I don't tell. Latitude, longitude.
So it's just Trump and Putin?
Yes.
Are they trying to figure out Ukraine? And
Of
Crimea?
course, they're advisors and such. But if
Not Zelensky.
But if they come to something, Trump said, "I'll respect. Zelensky will be my first call."
Okay.
How about Trump taking over Washington, D.C. with the policing up there?
I thought that was good.
Well, the murder. Let's see. They had their 100th murder yesterday in Washington D.C. and they said, "Oh, it's safe. It's safe up here."
No.
There's
I
a
heard
lot
it's like
of
the fourth most dangerous city.
It is. We were there, and I felt relatively safe. But
Apparently,
there was,
after 8 p.m.
yeah, it was strange
off
though.
the
It's
wheels come off.
They'll lock down things around there pretty quick too.
Yeah, that's true. I never felt unsafe, but I was never there at night.
Yeah.
So maybe it is a different place in the day and night. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange
And the
deal.
subway, not subway, but the metro, I never felt real safe on the metro.
Yeah, we took the metro, but it was during the daytime, so I don't think we ever did it at night when we were up there a couple
there
weeks ago.
a police presence on the metro?
No, there's
remember
not.
seeing
Like the
one.
subways in New York, I think maybe they have.
There is a police presence on the subways in New York?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm sure it can't be every one of them.
So we don't have a rant today. Nothing. You don't have a rant. That was Holly's favorite segment.
I know. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I don't want everybody to think I'm mad every week.
Well,
It's endearing, Steve.
Is it endearing?
So
Okay.
what else you got?
Today's birthdays?
Oh, you know what? Mine's in 2 days.
Is that right?
Yep. It's Saturday's my birthday.
oh, how old will you be? 55? 54? 55.
2.
52. Okay.
52.
I'm sorry. I was making him a lot older.
52.
I'm a
Really?
young buck.
Wow.
Gosh. I
What a baby.
don't know why I was trying to make you so old.
Well, it's because I'm the youngest in my class, so my graduating
You didn't get
class.
redshirted?
Nope, I did not.
Okay.
I went straight through, played as a freshman. So
Well, this certainly pales in comparison to these other birthdays, but Steve Martin is 79, Halle Berry, 58,
okay,
Magic Johnson, 65.
you know he wasn't supposed to live.
Well,
Remember that 1991?
Yeah, the AIDS thing.
Yeah.
I remember where I was when that happened.
When he got AIDS.
When
I mean,
we
where-
heard
when-
about
when-
it, because
when
it
it
was
was an
huge.
announcement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a huge announcement.
Yeah.
and it was during
Because
preseason.
it was somewhat of a death sentence.
Oh, it was.
It was.
Back then.
But now
And he
medicine
is-
is so good that they can prolong
Yeah.
and well, that's
you know,
good.
there's been some stuff talked about with Fauci and all that stuff about AIDS and how he fudged the numbers or something to get grants, and I don't know. Yeah, I've heard some
Probably.
stuff like that.
Fauci just may not be the hero we thought he was.
You think?
You thought he was a hero?
I bet Trump likes him. Well, he was supposed to be. Yeah, they put him out front and center, but then as it started, the pandemic started hitting.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I'm not sure what that guy's talking about.
This isn't adding up. This is day 226 of the year. 139 left.
Wow.
Sunrise.
You're bringing the heat.
Sunrise 6:03. Sunset 7:31.
Okay.
Hey, don't use up all your material right now. We got
we got a whole nother segment to go.
Let's go ahead and take our break since we.
My Supply is my hometown hardware store. At My Supply, I never have to wander aimlessly around the store looking for what I need. I know that when I walk through the door, I'm going to be greeted by a person and helped right away. So whether you're looking for plumbing, electrical, hand or power tools, welding supplies, standard or metric fasteners, or anything else to help with your home projects and repairs, shop My Supply on Godfrey Avenue in Northeast Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. My Supply, your hometown hardware store.
Do you need to declutter? Wish you could free up some valuable space at work or home? Hillier Mini Storage has climate control units available, and all their units are gated for maximum protection. You can also store your stuff at home with their Four Seasons or Max Steel storage buildings for sale. Just come by Hillier Mini Storage on Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And while you're there, be sure to check out play sets for the kids. Store your stuff with Hillier Mini Storage.
This is Chris Sturra, the voice of the Fort Payne Wildcats. You're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. I'd love to join them, but some of us have real jobs to get to.
Y'all ready for some great country music tonight?
Saturday night, August the 16th at the Pick and Post in Fort Payne, Alabama. It's the legendary David Wills.
'Cause there's a song on the jukebox I want to hear 1,000 times. Hey, I've done it all, but I'll tell you, horse, don't do anything I wouldn't do. No anchors, just sail.
David Wills, Saturday night, August the 16th at the Pick and Post, located at 893 Old Highway 35 East in Fort Payne, Alabama. With opening acts, the Foggy Hollow Review and Cody Eubanks and the Quitting Time Band. Doors open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Get your tickets at davidwillsmusic.com. A Georgia Legends concert.
These guys are awesome. Just that's all I can say. Wow.
All right, we are back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve, episode 24. I'm glad to have you guys with us. Our segment sponsor for this segment is DeKalb MD Healthcare Simplified. DeKalb MD is direct primary care with a network of clinics located in Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee that operates on a monthly membership, not insurance. They provide quality, individualized care with concierge benefits for $85 a month. With an $85 a month membership, you receive same or next day scheduling with no wait time, longer visits with your provider, even after hours access, basic labs, and no additional cost. A direct phone number to call or text your provider at any time, and over 1,000 medications emailed directly to you. DeKalb MD works with you instead of your insurance. DeKalb MD, primary care with you in mind. Visit www.decabmd.com today to schedule an appointment. That's Chad Williamson, DeKalb MD. Segment sponsor for Lunch with Bryan and Steve. So glad to have them on board with us. So
I wonder about prescription drugs. If the prices are a little lower,
they are.
They are.
There is they've got an ability to purchase sometimes the generics.
Yeah.
And a lot of them they just have in-house, and so you just go grab them. But I guess they're mailing stuff now, so I don't know. I checked into it.
Yeah,
before.
$85 a month.
It's very convenient, and you have access to.
Is that for a family
not
or is
to
that
Dr.
single?
Chad, but to whoever's the primary care provider.
I just wondered if that's $85 for one person or for family. It didn't say.
There's a different. I'm not sure.
They're
That'd
probably
be good.
different.
Go visit them at decabmd.com, and you can find out, Miss
Are you
Holly.
not feeling well?
No, well, I'm actually thinking more along the line. My husband military, so we have TRICARE and all that. Yeah. So anyway, but for my children who are not children anymore,
if you are in need, so what it's designed to do is to have some major medical component that you purchase on the side.
Yeah.
And then then they provide just the daily. It's the least expensive. It's not bogging down the insurance system with co-pays and doctor's visits,
Right.
and it handles the day-to-day stuff, and then the bigger stuff you deal with in another way. So,
Okay.
so. Hi, Sydney. Sydney's been helping out with the show. She's in my class. That's one of
Thank you, Sydney.
That's probably my favorite part of this job.
Yeah.
Is Sydney's taking 2 of my classes, so I get to see her probably more now than I
I thought you were
have.
about to say that's your favorite
I'm sure that's her.
child.
I'm sure that's the favorite part of her day too.
So she's going to be doing my social media stuff, and
Sandwiches back in there.
she's eating one of the sandwiches, one of the Pam
No,
Davis
she's eating a
sandwiches.
pound cake, I think.
So that pound cake is excellent, by the
Oh,
way. Pam,
gosh.
my goodness.
Don't
Woo!
tempt me.
It will put pounds on you.
I bet
She's
it
more than a
will.
trophy wife.
So thankful for that. So lunch with Bryan and Steve. Steve, what do you got? You want to do something else?
Well, this day in 1945, a little thing happened. Japan officially surrendered.
There you go. That's what I'm talking. That's his quirk right there.
That's why we're
You
not
wanna
eating.
get
No,
another sandwich?
we don't need to eat on
there
the
goes
air,
the bell.
Sid.
That's why we're not eating fish heads and rice today.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Sydney.
Thank you,
If
Sydney.
that offends you, I don't like you.
They are good.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's totally inappropriate for a show. It's unprofessional, but then again, that's what you're getting. So
You're going to really like this one. In 1936, on this date in Owensboro, Kentucky, the last public hanging.
The last public hanging.
Hanging, yes.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
in what year was that?
1936.
Wow. Wow.
It's pretty recent.
That seems Wild West-ish, doesn't it? A public hanging?
Have you ever been to Owensboro, Kentucky?
No,
It's a nice
I'm sure.
And there's a reason.
But you know what? That's a deterrent. Like if you
I
if
guess
you
it is.
see,
You better believe it is.
You know, yeah.
As an old St. Louis Cardinals fan, Bob Gibson throws his first no-hitter in 1971 on this day.
Is that right? Okay.
And Jimmy Hoffa
Slept with the fishes.
was reported
today.
missing on this date in 1975.
Yeah.
Oh.
He'd been missing a few days, but his wife just got around to reporting it on August 14th.
That's not fishy at
interesting.
all.
75.
Yeah.
And apparently he's in an oil drum somewhere.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to find him this side of heaven.
No, I don't get it.
Jesus knows where he's at, but
That's right.
that's about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, first they say it was under the stadium up there in New Jersey
I've
where the
heard that.
Jets and the Giants play.
Yes, I've heard that before.
But
Buried in the concrete somewhere?
yeah, but it's sort of hard to prove, I guess.
Well, you could prove it. It'd be pretty expensive.
Well, yeah. It used to be called Meadowlands, but I don't know what they call it now. Or is it a whole new facility?
No, I think they just updated it.
Okay.
No, did they build another one next door?
Well, since 75, they probably have. I'm not sure.
All right, so I've got a couple of things. This is just stuff that's kind of been sitting on my plate that I've never gotten to, and I want to get it off of my computer. So go over there,
Oh, I
Miss
thought you were
Holly.
going to say off of my chest.
Yeah,
I want
off
to get it off my
and
chest.
the computer.
And
All right.
It's just something I've always thought that kind of had fun. But there's a guy that's a comedian now. We'll put him back up in just a second. DeKalb MD. I don't want to ruin their sponsorship, but
All right. Is it Dusty Slay?
Yeah.
All right. Is it the pink?
So if you guys have seen this comedian here, his name's Dusty Slay. You can look him up. He's been on The Tonight Show. He's been on Jimmy Kimmel. He's really good friends with Nate Bargatze. They hang out a lot. He is from Opelika, and I taught him. Go to the other picture. So this is him in high school. I found this in the yearbook.
Oh, wow. He looks way different. Look at that.
Yeah, he looks completely
Wow.
different. But that was him at Opelika High School back in 2001-ish, I think is when he graduated.
Okay.
But it was interesting because he came, I saw him popping up on stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, Dusty Slay, the Dusty Slay that I knew? And anyway,
There
he's a
can't be
comedian
more than
online,
one.
so it's fascinating to see him doing well. And I've tried to Facebook message him, but he won't respond back, but that's no
Yeah,
big deal.
he's too big for you now, right?
Yeah, he's too big for me. So anyway, that's
You tell
Dusty
him you have
Slay.
your own show.
I know. I should get him. Oh, wow. If I could get him on
That
Lunch with
would
Bryan
be
and Steve.
awesome. Hey, now listen, I think we need to
I'm gonna do that.
We need
I'll
to
reach
get
out to
James
him on that.
Slayton, not James, John, his brother John. He's a
comedian, isn't he?
He is.
I wonder if he ever
was
comes back
funny
to Fort
back in
Payne. That
school.
would be funny.
That would
So,
be. Not James, John. Yeah.
Anyway, I got another story that I want to share with you guys. So we've got a few minutes left before this break, and it's another one of mine that's been sitting. I'm kind of cleaning up the stuff that's been on my outline here for several weeks, and I haven't done
so
that.
he was like, what are we talking about tomorrow? And it was nothing from me.
I got things in case he just gets bored and zones out.
I know it's ridiculous. So I have a story. Some of you know that when I was at Auburn, I got to know him, was good friends with Patrick Nix, who's Bo Nix. Nobody knows very few people know who Patrick Nix is anymore.
Really?
Most people know who Bo Nix is, which is his son, who was a quarterback at Auburn, quarterback at Oregon, and now is the quarterback for the Denver Broncos. So Patrick and I came through the same years at Auburn. We actually played each other in high school when he was at Etowah and I was here. Played baseball and football against him. And then we met at Auburn, got to be good friends. I actually was in his wedding back in 1995.
And you didn't bring pictures of that?
I don't have pictures of that.
Oh, Bryan.
So I'm sure I could locate it if I
believe
had
you
to.
then.
So y'all were more than just casual friends.
Yeah, we were really good friends. And I've still got his phone number. I can text him and talk to him every now and then. Let me see if he'll answer right now. Anyway, so I ran into him as soon as we finished at Auburn. He went to Jacksonville State and was coaching with Coach Burgess. He coached the receivers at JSU. I mean, then the year after, he didn't do GA. He didn't do. Yep.
That's the later bell.
We're very fortunate that we only get 2 bells like that.
And it's not too
during
terrible.
the show.
It's
so
not terrible.
So he went straight to Jacksonville State in So we finished in 95. He goes to Jacksonville State in 96. It was there in 96, 97, 98. In 99, he got the head coaching job at Henderson State, which at that time played in the same division as West Alabama, West Georgia, and UNA, all those schools.
Division II.
Division II. They were in the same, I guess, Gulf South Conference was what it was at the time. So he gets that job, and I run into him at a coaching clinic because I'm at Opelika coaching, and we were in Birmingham at the same clinic. I said, hey, let's grab lunch. We hadn't seen each other in a couple of years. Let's go to lunch. He said, that's great. He said, I just got this head job. I've got to go meet with somebody and I've got to figure out what I'm going to do for my defense at Henderson State. I said, okay, that's fair. He said, so we're going to go to lunch. I'm going to lunch with the guy who was at Penn State as a defensive coordinator when we played them in the Outback Bowl, which was our last game there. And so I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so we go in and have lunch, and it's me and Patrick Nix and this guy at Johnny Ray's at the Colonnade in Birmingham. And we're having lunch, which is no big deal. We're just having a conversation. This is 1999, winter 1999. That's important. Several years later, like 10 years later, this guy shows up on national headlines for abusing sexually young boys while he was at Penn State.
Oh, no.
Jerry Sandusky.
Oh.
I mean, national headlines.
Wow.
This guy.
You didn't take pictures of that.
No,
lunch
we
or
didn't.
anything,
Well,
did
there
you?
was no social media at that time,
Yeah.
and I'm having lunch
Thank
with
the
Patrick
Lord.
Nix and Jerry Sandusky right there. We're talking at Johnny Ray's at the Colonnade.
Yeah.
Which is not a sponsor of the show. They should be.
They should. If they
Wow.
would, they would.
You never know when you're sitting across the table from the devil.
I know it. And you're sitting there, and I'm watching the news articles. I'm going, holy smokes.
Wow.
And then you look at the timeline.
And it was.
And he had just been let go from Penn State.
Wow.
Like he had said, I'm retired. But retirement.
When y'all were talking.
When we were talking, he had just gotten the boot from Penn State because of some allegations that had come up that year.
He was a very, very highly regarded defensive
He
coordinator.
was. He was a genius as far as defensive coordinators. But
ironically, his defense against Alabama was called the backbone.
Oh, my gosh.
Because Alabama ran the wishbone, and the linebackers would mimic the running back.
don't make a short out of this, please.
No. We let this one go. Okay, we got to go to commercial.
All right, we're going to do one more commercial
That was
break.
his scheme.
We'll come back and wrap up the show. Thanks for listening or watching Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back.
So long. Cheers. Adios. Bye, Felicia. Don't let the door hit you.
More and more people are saying goodbye to pests with Safe Solutions Plus LLC. And it's no wonder with their top-notch customer service, quality products, and lower prices. And now with their new website, it's never been easier to manage your pest control service with Safe Solutions Plus. Just visit sspestandtermite.com to view your billing details, make payments online, and review past services. Family-owned and operated, Safe Solutions Plus is located at 934 Main Street West in Rainsville. Call 256-638-7378. Safe Solutions Plus, protecting homes and businesses, solution at a time.
Hey then. Bye.
This is Robbie Coker with McNeese State Basketball, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB. Go Pokes.
Rawson Pools is eliminating every reason why you can't have your very own. No cash on hand? There's financing available at Rawson Pools. Ground too rocky? Rawson Pools is installing hybrid above-ground pools with 14-gauge steel panels, making it more durable and cost-effective than your average above-grounder. Check out their Facebook page to see what 30 years of pool installation experience can give you. Call 256-638-5904 to take the plunge. And always visit Rawson Pool and Supply Store in Rainsville for all your pool supply and accessory needs. Rawson Pools, the pool professionals.
All right, we're back, Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Just wrapping the show up. I want to thank you guys, all you sponsors, guys. If you're watching during the breaks, the commercials coming up, please go support those local businesses. We thought at the very beginning that Lunch with Bryan and Steve could be a show for Fort Payne folks and DeKalb County folks, and we're hoping that you guys are seeing some benefits from this. We've enjoyed doing it. I've enjoyed spending time with you guys on Thursdays.
About to be Fridays too.
About to be Fridays too, yeah. And so, one of the things that we want to make sure that we like everybody who's come in to talk about city council and mayor. We're trying to stay in the middle of this, and I mean the center of it, not in the middle of it. But
that too.
As believers, this is really not our home.
Yeah.
Our home is in heaven, and this is a temporary place. We're aliens and strangers in this land, and so we believe that firmly. And there's a lot of good candidates out there, and I don't think we're going to go wrong this time around. So I'm hopeful that everybody will get out and vote. We're thankful for you guys for listening and watching the show. We appreciate you. This is episode 24. It is going to be a wrap. I put a bow on it, and we hope you guys will come back next week. We'll have Jeff Young on the show, and we appreciate everybody's support of Lunch with Bryan and Steve, and we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good week.